Turkish drama fans love to watch dramas where the lead guy is rich and the girl is poor. Some Turkish dramas have romantic storylines and some will melt your heart with their unique storylines and charming couples. So, here we are talking about top 10 rich guy poor girl Turkish dramas that you must watch. Firefly. On the one hand, he is very successful, charming, but he is distancing himself from love. A divorced lawyer, Baris, who thinks that life has lost its interestingness. On the other hand, a beautiful young girl, Asli, who is smart, fun, chirpy, but has to drive a taxi to support her family. Crossing paths, the duo's lives change and they find themselves on a fun adventure full of love. Arkansi Kas, early bird. Sanam is a young girl who hadn't succeeded in landing a permanent job yet and chooses to work at her father's grocery store in hopes to become a famous writer one day. When her parents give her a choice to either get a proper job or an arranged marriage, Sanam rushes to a job in the advertising agency her sister works in. There her adventure with the two boss, Chan, becomes starting a chain of events that end up with her falling in love with Chan. Zalim Istanbul. Zalim Istanbul's drama story revolves around the life of the lower middle class family and the rich family. Seher is living in a small town with her two daughters and son Jehan. Aga is a rich man who lives in Istanbul with his family and disabled nephew Nadim. Aga arranged the marriage of Nadim with Kiran and the story takes a new turn. When Kiran meets Nadim, she refuses to get marry him. Jemre helps Nadim in his treatment and changes his life with the love and care. Kalp Rasi. Ferit is the cherished heir apparent of one of the well-established families of Antakya. Ayse, on the other hand, is a lively young girl living in Istanbul who has managed to stand on her own feet. Ferit, who is about to marry Hande, the daughter of the Varoglu family, the choice of his family, confronts the facts before the wedding and his world turns upside down. Shaken by betrayal, Ferit's path crosses with Ayse. The two find themselves in a difficult marriage game after their accidental meeting. The story, which takes place in Antakya, an ancient land that is a cradle of civilizations, turns into a true love story by testing friendship and love, past with the future and passion with patience. Waiting for the sun. Looking for a better life, Demet tries to convince her only daughter Zainab to leave their home village. They move into Demet's old friend's house jail and Zainab is able to enroll at the same private college as where jail works as a principal. Moving to a new big city and a new school is found to be very challenging for Zainab and she finds herself getting into a fight against the school owner's son, Karam. Zainab was brought up without a father and was told by her mother that her father was lost as a member of the navy during one of his missions at sea. All Zainab has a memory of his father is a photo that she takes everywhere with her. Her biggest dream is to one day meet her father and she is determined to not stop looking for him, even after moving to Istanbul. Meanwhile, Karam's initially portrayed somewhat as a bully. He owns the schoolyard and forces her kids to do what he pleases. He becomes a nemesis of Zainab when finding out that Zainab is willing to stand up to him. Karam tries to take revenge about Zainab's lost father. When Karam broke Zainab's heart, Karam and Melis learn so painfully their feelings for Zainab. Melis' father Sihan is Zainab's athleticism coach. Karam realizes that Melis knows an old secret. This secret is going to suicide of Melis. Kiralik Ask. A waitress named Daphne finds herself in a love game when she urgently needs a large sum of money to pay off her brother's debt. Daphne looks after her grandmother, her younger sister and her older brother. Her father abandoned them at a young age, after which even her mother left Daphne and her siblings to start life anew with another man. One day, a man named Omar kisses her abruptly outside the restaurant where Daphne works to save himself from a blind date arranged by his aunt. Unknown to Daphne and Omar, Omar's aunt Neriman witnesses the kiss. After that, Neriman approaches Daphne with an offer to marry and then leave the man she is renting her for, her husband's nephew Omar. Neriman is ready to give 4 lakh liras, but Daphne only takes the money she needs and accepts the offer to free her brother from the people he is indebted to. Neriman is desperate to find a girl for Omar in order to please her father-in-law and Omar's estranged grandfather Hulusi. Hulusi has threatened Neriman and her husband Nesmi that unless he sees Omar married in the next 6 months, he will sell all the family property including Nesmi and Neriman's house. Under Neriman's instructions, Daphne begins work at Omar Footwear Company as his personal assistant. Unaware of the fact that he is the man who kissed her until she sees him on her first day of work, she has 6 months to make Omar fall in love with her, marry him and then leave him. Things become complicated when, without intending to, Daphne also falls in love with Omar. now torn between not wanting to deceive him and hiding the true reason she came into his life for fear that he will never want to see her again. In between. This show presents two sides of Istanbul. In Fatih, a poor neighborhood, Neriman has dreams of becoming a famous artist. She leaves university in her third year while her childhood friend Sinasi, who is in love with her, goes to study music. Harbiye is an upper-class, modern European neighborhood where Masit lives. Masit is the son of an artist Insi and a businessman Karim. Karim wants Masit to marry his friend Selim's daughter Pelin. Selim is the brother of Neriman's mother Nazan. But due to a feud between Neriman's father Faiz and Selim, they don't have contact to each other. Selim has two daughters, Pelin and Duygu. One day Neriman and her best friend Fariye meet them and are invited to a party at Masit's house. Neriman goes to the party and she meets Masit there. Masit falls in love with Neriman at first sight and takes her to a boat to be alone with her. Neriman is scared because of what happened to Sinasi's sister Asli. She falls into the water and Masit saves her life. After that day, they start seeing each other and falling in love with each other, much to the dislike of Pelin, who is in love with Masit herself. Har Yarde Sen. Selin is an ambitious and hardworking young woman who sees the pieces of her life falling into place when she finds the perfect little house to buy as her first property. Demir has already made a success of his career but is looking to move back to some home comforts after several years of traveling abroad. So he decides to buy the house he grew up in. Unfortunately, though each believes they have found somewhere to call home, it turns out that they each own only half of the property, having bought from a family already at war over the house. As if suddenly sharing the house with an unwelcome stranger weren't enough, when Selin gets to work, she finds out that her company has been taken over by a new investor, Demir. With the two not able to avoid each other in their private and professional life, there is something else that they can't avoid. The inevitable chemistry that builds between the passionate, handsome young businessman and the pretty, creative and talented architect. As tensions rise both in the workplace and at home, a romance starts to blossom in this charming romantic series. Strawberry Smell. This is a love story of Asli and Burak, who lives in a different world. Asli is a hardworking girl who belongs to a normal family and Burak is a reckless boy who belongs to a rich family. Asli works in a cake shop but one day she is fired from her job due to Burak. At that time, Asli's friend Gonza also works with her in the cake shop and she gets a better job offer at a big hotel in Bodrum. She persuades Asli to go to Bodrum with her and finally they both move to Bodrum. On the other side, Burak's father was upset because of his reckless behavior and sends Burak to manage their new hotel. Asli and Burak meet again in Bodrum and after some time, they fall in love with each other and the story takes a new turn.